Confession time, I didn't really like Oblivion. So, when I picked up a copy of Skyrim a year after its initial release, I was still hesitant on whether I would enjoy it. But, as soon as I exited that cave, defeated my first dragon and looked into the eyes of my sweet, sweet Lydia, it's safe to say that I was in love. And when I get that feeling, I won't accept, you won't heal it. Anyway, welcome to this video series where I pick a game I've never played before, try it out and give you my experience with it. Except this time I'll be reliving the experience. So with that out of the way, I played the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim for the first time, kind of, and this is what happened. When starting off Skyrim, everything at first seems clean, your inventory is neat and your quest page is tidy, but fast forward 20 minutes and your quest log resembles that of my friend Robert's butthole after being passed around by 50 different men. It's very messy. Also, fuck you, Robert. The game instantly bombards you with things to do and places to go. Every time I go towards my destination, I'm like, haha, I'm journeying to Whiterun to join the Companions Guild to become the strongest warrior and defeat the mighty... Oh look, a cave. Let me just explore it a little bit. Haha, now I'm down that cave, it's time to join the Companions Guild to become the strongest... Oh look, an abandoned house. Let me just explore it a little bit. Ha 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 ha! Now I'm down the abandoned house. It's time to... Oh look, a butterfly! The amount of time I've spent chasing butterflies in this game is absolutely ridiculous. Come here, Mr. Butterfly. Hey, get back here! The story in Skyrim is simple. One day we're about to get beheaded when all of a sudden we get a letter sent through our letterbox saying we've been accepted into the Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. And from then on, our quest to become the Hokage of the Leaf Village truly begins. Honestly though, I'm kinda happy the story in the game isn't complex, because if it was more complicated, there's no way I'd remember it all after doing nothing but side missions the entire time. Whilst short, it's still a fun ride.
That's what she said. Ha.
The music in Skyrim is like your stereotypical gay best friend who makes you feel good no matter what you do. For example, every time you finish a quest, you'll hear... Every time you level up... Every time you catch a fish... Every time you beat up a child... The soundtrack is good, is what I'm trying to say. The NPCs of the world are interesting to talk to and a lot of them hand out quests, but by far the best NPCs are the Khajiits. In fact, there was this one specific Khajiit salesman that was so good at his job. Every time I traded with him, I was like...
We'll take the lot.
There are difficulty options in Skyrim too, which is great, as the further you progress through upgrading your stats, armor, weapons, magic and dragon shouts, the easier the enemies are to defeat. I, however, never put it to the master difficulty option. Unfortunately, it was just way too hard for me to handle.
That's what she said.
Skyrim is a game that lets you sweet talk your way out of every situation and allows you to even negotiate for better prices. All you need to do is get that speech to level 100 and you'll be dealing with traders like Leonardo DiCaprio in The Wolf of Wall Street.
You give me one shot here on a blue chip stock like Kodak. And believe me, Kevin, the only problem you're gonna have is that you didn't buy more. Sound fair enough?
There are a ton of armor and weapon variety in the game too, which is obviously a big plus. My favourite weapon had to be the Dawnbreaker, which can set enemies on fire. I ran through every obstacle set in my way to obtain that sword, and after months of vigorous training, in the end, victory was mine. It tasted sweet and it shone gloriously.
That's what she said. No time, but she did. No time!
There are a ton of stats to upgrade and try out, giving Skyrim more than enough replayability. Wanna be a sneaky archer assassin that specializes in alchemy? You can do that. Wanna be a massive warrior, hacking and slashing your way through enemies whilst making armor in your spare time? You can do that. Wanna send Lydia, your loyal, faithful, hot companion, to fight a giant and watch her get propelled a million feet into the air Team Rocket style? You can do that, you sick, twisted freak. Surprisingly, my favourite part of Skyrim is actually the Hearthfire expansion, where I can pick a spot of land, build a house, get married and adopt a child. Things like that give you a real connection to the game. That is, until your house gets attacked by giants and you have to watch your wife get propelled a million feet into the air Team Rocket style. One of the best things about the game are the random events that transpire. Story time! One day I went into the Whiterun Tavern after a long day of dungeon exploring to sleep the night. In there I met a man who challenged me to a drink-off. I of course been an alcoholic in real life, accepted, and 2 minutes later got blackout drunk. The next morning I awoke in a holy shrine getting yelled at by a priestess. What followed next was me having to find out what happened the previous night, which, long story short, there was something about a goat and I married a hag raven. Eventually though, I found the man that challenged me to a drink-off, only to find out he was actually a Daedric prince the whole time. I know, I was like, what? No way, Daedric prince the whole time?
The whole time? The whole time you would... The whole time?
Turns out the prince wanted nothing more than to entertain himself with some trouble and saw me as the perfect puppet. The quest then finally ends with him giving us a staff that allows us to conjure a strong Daedric spirit to fight alongside us in battle. That all happened just because I wanted to sleep the night to the inn. In the end, Skyrim has to be one of my favourite games ever. I've restarted it so many times I've lost count and put at least 1,000 hours into it. I loved it so much that the one time I did get to the end level, I quit and started again because this was a game I never wanted to beat, and to this day I still put the disc in and explore the world to my heart's content. I give The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim a I believe I can fly out of 10.